Welcome to the Feel Better, Be Better show. Today, Kate and Nevada will answer your questions and introduce new topics designed to help feel better and be better. These are raw conversations, but they will make a difference.
All right, let's see. We just did a show. Yeah, what did we do? We did exercise myths and things we learned and how dumb we were when we were young.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still kind of dumb. Okay.
You've gotten a lot better.
I
didn't know you when you were young, so I have no comparison.
I was dumber.
I have no comparison.
Well, I was dumber.
Okay.
I know it seems hard, but I was dumber.
Okay.
Anyway, we go over little things that we thought we knew, and now we know better, and next year we'll know better.
Yeah.
So it's always a constant learning. So.
Yep.
Enjoy the show.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see here. We covered the myths and lessons learned on
Nutrition,
all that kind of good stuff. So
part 2.
We're doing part 2? Sweet. Or would it be like part B since it's kind of like a whole different thing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
If you do a series, I think it's still part 2.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Part 2.
Part 2.
We're going over some myths and learnings of exercise.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I thought about trying it one time.
Just once.
Yeah. Just once.
Yeah. You can tell. Nobody thinks you're athletic or work out at all.
Nah, you see me on the field and you're just like, dude, has I ever heard of a push-up? Wow. Okay. No, I think this one's really interesting because I know you and I have spent quite a bit of our lives in like the heavy workout mode. I mean, constantly hitting it hard, doing it, super difficult, doing all these crazy things. I mean, we had, the HIIT protocols. I mean, really balancing out your workout stuff to where you're doing, heavy cardio and weight training and, whatever else you may be doing. And there's so many things that we've learned since then.
Well, I think the biggest thing, too, both of us being athletes, it was always preached, you go until you have nothing left or you're not doing enough.
Well, on every workout.
Yeah, there was you had to get all of it in. You had to do as much as you can do every single time. And the more recovery you had to take made it seem like you weren't a good enough athlete or in good enough shape. And we're learning now that that's not really the case. And thankfully, athletics have caught up with that and have changed a lot of the stuff that they do and monitor that stuff a lot better now. But when we were playing, that wasn't a thing.
Well, no, it was funny. You could talk about high rep or, high weight or whatever, but, all of them were to failure.
Mm-hmm.
It was you needed to pick the right weight to where you only did, 3 reps to be able to do your high weight, and you need to pick that right weight so you could do 25 reps. But you didn't stop at 25 and you didn't stop at 3 because you were done. You went till you couldn't lift the weight anymore. You went to quote-unquote failure.
Yes, but it's even running. I don't remember how many times coaches ran us till you were pretty much done.
Yeah. Well, for a lot of people, that's the first base.
True. But, I just remember in basketball and even one softball coach I had, we ran a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And it was till you felt like death.
Yeah, we don't really do that anymore.
We don't, thankfully, because it's not good on your body. There's the opposite problem now of nobody doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Doing the bare minimum and not wanting to run kids too hard because you don't want complaints or, kids out of shape, something happen. But, both sides of the coin are not good.
Yeah, you just see so many kids nowadays. It's kind of it's 92 degrees out. Are we really going to run in this? And you're like, that was like the cool weather when I was a kid. I was like,
yeah.
I remember doing wind sprints 2-a-days in 105 degree weather. I'm like,
yeah, we never shifted practice from 4 o'clock till later because it was hot out.
Yeah, no.
It's 105, you better wear your cutoff and bring lots of water. Better suck it up.
You say that. I grew up in the era where, our punishment, we didn't get water breaks.
Mm-hmm.
My God, if you did that now, it'd be insane.
Yeah.
But, at the same side, I mean, they were good enough to know their limits. They didn't necessarily push kids too far. I mean, accidents happen, but we also kind of got in this situation now where it's kind of like, sometimes you got to push yourself. You're not gonna be able to gain as a person if you're not putting some strain on the body. Yeah. So I mean, you need to have some wind sprints in 100-degree heat.
Well, and I think there's a lot to be said to finding a way to be in shape in the right ways. Like, I remember my dad and I having these conversations a lot about some of the really good athletes would always end up getting hurt, but it's because they were lazy in practice and they didn't they didn't run the sprints at full capacity. They didn't work outside of practice on other things. They didn't cross-train in other sports, which does a lot for, helping imbalances that naturally occur from doing sports. And, I mean, I was the kid, not like bragging on myself or anything, but I never had any injuries when I was going through school. And I was always in really good shape. I always played a lot of different sports and ran around and was really active outside of sports and worked very hard at it. And it's like the people who didn't work very hard were the ones always getting hurt, throwing out their back or hurting their shoulder, or rolling an ankle, or...
Well, I think the biggest one I ever saw in that one was I think it was in the 80s sometime there, where basically the specialization for one sport kind of started taking over. And the weight training became the training of choice. And
girls was not till way later.
I'm sure.
It was barely starting to be a thing when I was in high school.
Yeah. I get it. I'm old. And then...
I was going to say, not to point it out, but it was not the 80s.
Yeah. For the boys. Okay, there we go. But anyway, no, that is... I understand that probably hit you guys in the 90s. But, I mean, to me, that's when you started seeing the heavy injuries. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had injuries, but most of mine were overuse. I was probably one of those kids that nowadays you would actually want to be like, no, we got to pull you back because you're doing too much. And those are the injuries that I had. But I mean, I didn't have the rolled ankles and the stuff like that. Everybody said I was lucky. Well, I mean, the reason why is because, I was playing all different sports. So, I wasn't able to develop so many horrible imbalances that stuff was, like, in a bad shape, if anything didn't go perfect or as planned. So when you're sitting there with, I don't know, these basketball players that do nothing but play basketball, or these, football players that do nothing but play football, and they play it year round, and they're constantly pushing, they're creating all these imbalances that when something tweaks a little or there's a little bit of a change in how things happen, mm-hmm. they have an injury. Yeah. And it's not overly shocking. And then you also got the weight training stuff where, they're doing whatever their workout is. These workouts Monday, Wednesday, Friday, these workouts Tuesday, Thursday, and they've been doing it for 4 years straight. And it's just like, you're going to have huge imbalances. You've got to mix that stuff up. And they're like, well, we do high rep days or something. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. So, yeah. I think probably one of the biggest myths and stuff that we would come back from is, and then also, I'm sorry, I'm going to stop before I go into that. The other thing is it wasn't a proper workout unless you were like dying or sore the next day. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think I even carried that into like my older age where I was kind of like, man, I'm really sore today. I must have been a really good workout last time. Now I know better. I'm like, dude, I went too far.
Yeah.
Of course, though. Now at my age, when I get sore, it's like, yeah, I'm really sore. And people are like, oh, did you work out last night? I'm like, well, not last night.
I rolled out of bed.
Well, no, thanks. It's true. All right, can't argue that one. If you roll out wrong at my age, you can pull something. But I was more going on the fact that it was like, no, I pushed it too hard like 3 days ago, and I'm still sore from it. And that does happen.
Well, and you're not using those same muscles all the time anyway. So if you use something a little different, like it's easier to get sore when you're older.
Uh-huh. Well, we've talked about this. The older you get, the more you have your jobs, your routines, your patterns, and you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. So when you just get a little bit out of that, it becomes a big deal.
Yeah.
You end up, doing stuff that get you in trouble. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where you want to go from this. We kind of just put up a whole bunch of problems. Do we want to go into some of the ways we fixed it, or you got others?
I wanted to point out first off that watching collegiate softball the last couple of years, because that's kind of my sport of choice to watch.
I'm aware.
I love it. Mm-hmm. But watching it, they've talked a whole lot about monitoring and having rest in between and balance and a lot of their aspects of their workouts and like nutrition and stuff more than like what we had gone through, and I think that's really awesome. But it makes me think about all of our workouts and stuff that we've done recently. I mean, we did the whole Mind Pump workout. We did a couple of their online programs, and theirs are very much like, no, you're going to lift heavy some days, and you're going to lift light some days, and you're going to do mobility some days, and then you're going to have some days where you don't really have much of anything except for, like, just active recovery, like walking. And it feels, from where we used to be, like so much less. Because the intensity is not there as, like, no, I'm going to put as much weight on here, and I'm going to do, like, 5 sets of 3 of these. And
well, their whole thing, too, is to stop when you think you can do 2. You
can
only do 2 more.
You don't go to failure.
Yeah.
And so it was a huge mind shift. But I think for myself, you can chime in. I think you feel the same way. As I feel like I got more gains in a short amount of time from that than I ever did when I was just in the gym all the time.
And the areas we were focused on those workouts, yes. So on my end, on the athletic side, I mean, and the Mind Pump guys, I mean, that's what they're there for. I mean, they're for the weight training.
Oh, I meant in general, just the basis premise. So, if you were going to go do cardio, do like a
yes.
similar type setup.
I was going to say, most of my world, I mean, was always kind of, they were trying to mix that. And I don't know if I'm really for that anymore, but doing like the HIIT workouts and those. So, I mean, those, I could definitely feel I got some pretty good gains on those in losses. Now, I would agree with the Mind Pump boys that you would be, possibly I was losing muscle. But, and in that kind of stuff, that's fine. I get that. But at the same side, I felt like I was getting more athletic doing those. But that would be the kind of stuff you would do if you're looking for athleticism.
That's what I was going to say, is if you're not looking to be bulky muscle, then losing a little bit of muscle is not as big of a concern if you're building strength and stamina.
Yeah. If you want to build athleticism, HIIT is not a bad way to go. Just playing sports is also a good way to go.
Yeah, but even with HIIT, you'd probably set up differently than like we would have when we were younger.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said to building in recovery to where your body has time to take a break from what you just did and repair itself and come back.
I think the recovery aspect is I'm more attuned to that now. But I think you have to pair it with intensity.
You do.
I mean, I don't want to get this whole thing of like, you got to make sure you get 2 days a week or whatever to make sure you repair your body. First, it's active recovery, which means you're still, walking, you're still doing some mobility, you're still doing some stuff like that. I mean, you're still getting up and moving, you're still making things work, you're just not, ripping the muscles. But on the days that you do lift and you do workouts or whatever like that, you kind of got to bring it.
Yep.
I just hate to kind of, with all the things that we do, we have so many times when we're going to do running that it's done, not at full strength, not at full speed, not at trying to push themselves. It's more of like, well, because I have to. And that's not intensity. And so when you are going to do your workouts, you need to bring intensity. So, which is, I'm not very intense, so.
Not at all.
No.
You're not competitive or?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
I'm trying to think of other things. I think another important key that I've learned as I was going up is the best workout, especially when you get out of sports, it's really easy to just not want to do anything because you don't have to anymore. It's not regimented and somebody else telling you what you're doing all the time. So I think the biggest thing I learned is you really got to find something you love that you're going to stick to, because if you're not going to stick to it, a routine you can stick to is better than no routine at all. And then you can tweak it from there. But if you don't like it and it doesn't work for your schedule, you're not going to do it.
Well, that's kind of what the programs, we kind of made up our own little quick program that takes like 10 or 15 minutes. It's got some mobility in it, it's got a few lifts in it and stuff like that and everything. But they're all that we can do at the drop of a hat about anywhere.
Yeah.
But we were on the ball field. 5 we were coaching 4 nights a week, and we were on playing 2 nights of the week. And it's just like, where do you fit a workout in?
Yeah.
We got to work on all that stuff. So we had to find a way to make it happen. But we were focusing more on like, what can we do to maintain our physicality while we can't really do a training program? And that's what we looked at. And those were good. I think I've gained some mobility. I think I definitely gained some core strength because we definitely were able to do core stuff. But I think that was one myth we didn't talk about, though. The Mind Pump guys, again, are really good at doing twisting motions, which, I mean, forever when I was weight training, I mean, you didn't try to move the back whatsoever.
And hinging.
Yes, and hinging.
Because everybody's always worried about hinging because you're going to throw your back out. But if you do it right, it's really good for your back muscles.
I mean, my core's quite a bit stronger than it ever has been.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like I have way more mobility there and definitely more versatility out of it. I'm just going to keep using like big words that I don't know what they mean. And
Sounds about right.
yes.
He's really smart, guys.
Yeah. No, yeah. I can't wait till I like just make one up. It doesn't work out or whatever. So, yeah.
I'm printing on a T-shirt for you.
I'm working on it. I'm sure I'll come up with one here in a minute. Give me a second. But no, and we, you know, we put those on our website. I mean, anybody can do what they want. I mean, out on the YouTube page or whatever. But we just do those to maintain our physicality. But I think when we get into build mode or do a workout mode, we'll probably go through the Mind Pump stuff, you know, try their exercise because we've really found some good stuff on there. But I mean, even they tell you that you should, you know, tweak it to what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll work on that.
Yep.
But I really like their idea. Basically, I mean, they've told people to, even though if you want to get into working out, well, sometimes setting the routine is a bigger deal. So I mean, they actually prescribe people to be like, no, I want you to go to the gym every day at pick a time, 10 o'clock, whatever your time is. Even if you don't work out, go there. You can talk to the people, you can walk around, check out that hot girl. I don't care, you know, but just be there. Because now, pretty soon, you'll be like, I'm going to go do this workout. I'm going to go do this. You're setting the routine. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it could be a hot boy. You don't have to roll your eyes. It's fine. And it could be, you know, working out without a shirt on. Anyway, always so awesome.
Those are the guys who can't ever put their arms down either.
Can you scratch my rib for me? I can't reach it.
With their shaker bottle with like 3 scoops of protein powder because the extra protein at that point is going to make a difference.
Yeah, and probably some creatine in there too.
Oh,
they're probably oily also. Shiny. Yeah.
Spray tan.
Yeah. Awesome. Are you talking about Paul? Sorry. Dave? Okay, whatever. So, what other things have you learned on your workout stuff that you almost kind of maybe you wish you knew or that you want to change going forward?
I don't know. I feel like I should have an answer to that, but I don't really have an answer to that.
Well, I mean, we kind of covered quite a few of them already. Mm-hmm. I mean, consistency is huge. I mean, think of like, and don't get me wrong, Mind Pump guys use these all the time too, but I mean, the guy that does construction work and everything like that, I mean, uses the hammer and nails all day long, and he's never sore. But I mean, if we go for like an hour and needed to hang something up or whatever, and I was hammering for an hour, I'm going to be sore, really sore the next day. Mm-hmm. You know, some of the guys that are, you know, maybe doing concrete work and stuff like that, where they're bending over and picking up heavy stuff all day long. I mean, I have one day in the yard doing heavy work, and the next day I'm not going to move. So I mean, it just goes to show you how much that consistency plays off. Because I mean, most of those guys don't look like they're like Adonises of the great. I mean, they you can tell they're still in good shape, but they're not like ripped, you know, bodybuilder type guys. It's just their bodies have conformed to the way they have built it. And they have tons of imbalances too. I mean, you go put them in like you put them in like an office setting, they're going to be sore the next day because their body isn't used to sitting behind a desk all day long. So, I mean, our bodies conform and adapt to the way that of the stresses that we put under them. So what kind of stuff do you want to do? So, I mean, mixing it up.
Mixing up is good.
We've done a lot more mobility, a lot more stretching. I think you've actually kind of come around on that one a little bit more. I was way more on the stretching side, but I needed it. Like, what workout are you doing today, Nevada? Hamstring stretch. That's what I'm going to do. No, like, that's not a workout. Yeah, it is for me. I'm going to sweat a little. I may need to take a water break in between, but it's going to be a stretch. So, and then, I mean, I think we have a whole thing on recovery too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was definitely ones like, what are you doing today? I'm staying on the couch and I'm not moving. It's recovery day. Well, I was always sore from that because that's not what my body is used to.
Yeah, you're sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, and it doesn't do you much.
It actually makes it worse too, because if you ever notice, if you work out and you have sore muscles the next day, if you do nothing and you just sit around, they're 10 times worse when you try to move them.
Mm-hmm.
If you can keep kind of moving and keep them loose, like, you're far better off.
Yeah, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Maybe do some of your mobility things, whatever works for you. Maybe some, yoga, whatever, vinyasas or something like that or whatever. Just get yourself moving.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I kind of like that we've incorporated is, just finding ways to add movement into your day outside of intense workouts, because there's a difference. I mean, I've have lots of public health seminars and stuff that I've gone to from various jobs.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
I know. It was actually really good. I really liked them. But
that's ridiculous. Okay, go ahead.
We preach so much that you need to get X amount of activity that's moderate to intense a week.
Sure.
But on the flip side of that, completely different and deals with different symptoms is, standing at least an hour every day, going on walks, finding ways to get more steps in.
Yeah.
They're kind of independent of one another, even though they kind of overlap a little bit. And so just from that, I mean, standing desk, it's like a huge transition. I mean, I have a harder time sitting down and working now than standing up and working now, which is weird.
I was going to say, I've been standing for 10 years, and when I sit down for like 30 minutes and it's not like engaging, I'll be asleep.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I mean, you've added in, taking a short walk in the morning to set your circadian rhythms through the day, and then a short walk after like lunch, and if you can after dinner. And while that's not like intense walking or anything, you're getting extra steps in there, and I feel like you feel more refreshed from the day just from moving. And it's not the same as your normal exercise that you would do.
Yeah, and then you got like crazy things that I do, at least in my situation, where I park on the parking garage level that's the farthest away from where I got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to take 4 or 5 flights of stairs just to get to the elevator that I got to get to. And then I'm horrible. Now I started doing stairs. So I mean, I'm up to 7 flights now.
With your backpack, which is how much extra weight?
That's like 40 pounds. Anyway, so I'm rucking it. But I've been going down them for the longest time. Now I'm just finally starting to get back going up because my knee hurt me for a little while. But anyway, which I do think the mobility stuff that we did repaired my knee to where now I can do my stairs. But those are little things there that I die laughing because people are like, oh, it just takes too long. I'm like, I've been next to you when you took the elevator down. You got ahead of me like a minute and a half. So your health isn't worth a minute and a half?
And sometimes you're faster. Sometimes they get stalled.
Well, sometimes they could get
Stop at
on
different
another
floors.
level or something like that. But, I mean, how much is your health worth? I mean, is it a minute and a half a day? I mean,
Yeah.
that could happen. And then so finding maybe you're parking farther away. Maybe you're, trying to take the stairs when you can. Maybe you're in situations where you need to find ways to make things work for you to just get those little exercises throughout the day. Is there things that you can do where you can, maybe move heavy books or heavy boxes during the day? That's just something that you just do to be able to keep your mobility working.
Yeah. Or like at work, where I used to work, here everything's so close that it's not really an option. But like, I would take the stairs down to the next floor to go to the bathroom and then back up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going further away, or to the
Those
next.
are nicer bathrooms, though.
Yeah, or the next level to go get water. Extra stairs, get a little bit more mental break from whatever I was working on at the time.
That was because you like that friend downstairs. So you just want to go by and say, "What up?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm?
Totally selfish motives.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, again, extra movement and kind of gives you a break and gives your brain the ability to kind of like be in a different scenery for a little bit.
It's funny as you do it more. Like for me, there's times where I'm just like, I don't have anything to do at the other end of the office, but I'm gonna walk around like I do because I just got to get up and move.
Mm-hmm.
I say get up and move. I'm already up, but I just got to move. Yep. I really don't know what I would do if I had to sit down and work again. It would just be the end of me. I'd be like, yeah, no, I can't do this. Someone like required me to not have a standing desk. I'd be like, I can't take that job.
Yep. Next job. It's like your ultimatum.
Pretty much. It's sad. It is almost my ultimatum now. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm going to be 10,000 times less efficient and less aware and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to sleep worse. It's just going to be a dumpster fire. I mean, I might as well just not work here.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But I don't know anybody that's telling me I can't.
Probably not.
Let's see here. Anything else on working out?
I don't think so. You think of anything else?
No, same thing as we talked about diet though. Mix it depending on what you're looking for. I'm okay with like we're gonna do a short little stint here because we're in season of this sport. Fine. Mm-hmm. I want to prepare for football season's coming around, so I want to put some extra muscle mass on. Okay, well maybe your workout needs to reflect that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got soccer season coming in. I need to make sure I get get in the right shape for that. Well, you're not gonna want to lift weights for that. You're going to be getting your body used to cardio. Mm-hmm. But other than that, if you're looking at, I'm trying to maintain what I got, you better mix up your workouts. And some of that may be, stuff like yoga. Some of that may be stuff like meditation. You may need to work in your, going on a walk. I can't even imagine doing that when I was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. But at 16, maybe not. But anyway, I had my dad or mom or something, if it had been a routine, it probably would have helped me.
See, I loved family walks. We used to do that all the time in the evening.
Okay. But I mean, again, if you don't start those when you're young, if you try to start that on a 16-year-old, they're going to be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you built the routine in, the expectation, you're fine.
Yep.
But again, I think that's the one of me, I feel like, especially for the younger ones, they get very into like, dude, this is the best workout, P90X, or whatever. That was my age group, but he's like, that was amazing. You just do that, and it's like you'll be fine for like 6 weeks until your body adapts, and then you might as well just be not doing anything.
Yeah, or you get into the ones that are an hour long and you just can't maintain it every day.
Yeah,
it's really hard to do an hour or two of intense cardio when you have a family and you have work and you have outside activities that you got to do. Sometimes that's hard to keep up with.
That was the one that always cracked me up with them, like, dude, I did P90X. I lost so much weight. I'm like, did you do the meal plan? Yeah. Okay. You did the workout every day, right? Yeah. So you did an hour of intense, high intensity interval training every day and ate whole foods when before you did nothing and ate fast food. Yeah. Wow. Who would have thought that would have worked? It's impressive how crazy that program is. I mean, it's just like, no shit. You're working out an hour every day and you were doing nothing. Yeah, you're going to lose weight. Congratulations. It cracked me up. No, you're wrong. I mean, I still utilize some of their workouts because they weren't that bad. I know certain people really have issues with the way their programming is laid out, but some of the exercises in there were beneficial. Mm-hmm. The combination and how intense they went, no. I mean, 20-year-olds, sure.
Yeah.
Guys that have worked out their entire lives, okay, maybe. But for somebody that's at a desk job for 10 years and trying to get back in shape, you will literally injure yourself.
Yeah.
Multiple times trying to do that program. So, all right, well, if that's it, I think we wrap up our intense workout
show
learning session.
Oh.
Yeah. Giving the intense look.
Okay.
Not the clap look.
Do I need to look all scared over here?
Yeah.
So people buy it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there you go. You got it. All right. Guys, have a good night.
Thank you for watching. Kate and Nevada hope you've enjoyed this show and found it useful and empowering. If you have any questions or comments, please contact them at Kinetics.com. That's KNETICX.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. And please write a review of the show. Kate and Nevada appreciate hearing the feedback, and they welcome your reviews, and your word of mouth will help others learn how to feel better and be better.